So when you're ready, we'll go.
So here we are at the rabbit sanctuary, and we have this tiny weeny baby rabbit here. He's come here for a little bit of help, and we thought that it would be good to show a video of how we do help baby rabbits, because he needed to be hand-fed. And the rescuers are here that brought him in. They were sent here by the local pet shop, Pets Domain. Thanks, Pets Domain, for helping this rabbit. And Keanu will tell you exactly what happened and why we ended up with an orphan baby rabbit.
Well, this little guy was one of four at our local preschool. One of the rabbits fell pregnant, and they were going good for a couple of weeks, and I checked on them on a Thursday night, and all four babies were happy and healthy, and the mum was still feeding them. And then the next morning I come in early to work at about 6:30 and checked on the babies, and they'd all been killed by either a rat or a phascogale. And he was the only one left. He'd managed to run from one side of his cage to the other and hide under some loose hay. And we decided to make the executive decision to pick him up and get him out of there. Yeah.
It's very good that you did. You went on over to Pets Domain, did you?
Yeah, and was it Joe that you spoke to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe, the manager?
Joe, yeah. And she put us onto you, and we thought we'd come and grab some tips and tricks as to
Okay, and you
how to
had
look after him.
purchased a pet bottle, can we see
we
that?
did grab this from a local vet, and I'd snipped a hole in the top just because when he was feeding it was too small. But yeah, like you said, it was probably a little bit too big just for him, for his age.
So the hole is too big for a little baby rabbit. This rabbit is about roughly 12 days old, and the teat is just made, the hole is way too big, you can see it there. That might be okay when he's much bigger, but not at first, so he wouldn't take the milk anyway. So we've got Divedalac. Have you got the tin there, Keanu?
Yeah.
So what we did was use one of the rabbit sanctuary bottles and teats, and that's what we're feeding this baby rabbit. It's known to be a good solution to feeding an orphaned baby rabbit, as well as other wildlife and cats and things that you can feed this to. We've mixed it up to a little bit stronger strength than what the tin says, and that's if you're interested in knowing how to feed an orphaned baby. The rabbit's need for the milk is to be a little bit thicker, so a little bit more nutritious. So we've done that, and we've done it with sterilisation. So we used water from the jug, and we sterilised everything and started with clean equipment. And this is Cooper. This is tiny little Cooper. We've provided the rescuers with some Angora rabbit fur, because in nature the mother would make a nest out of fur. She would pull it from her belly, and that's what keeps a baby rabbit warm. And so a lot of people tend to put the baby orphan rabbit on a towel, but that is not warm. It will not work. And so you must seek out rabbit fur if you rescue a baby orphan rabbit, because that's now this baby's not struggling anymore. He's asleep and warm inside his fur, and he can have that over him and get really toasty warm. Can't you, Cooper? He's so cute. So we're going to just show you as well how to bottle feed this baby. So he's had a little bit of the milk already, so we're waking him up to show. Angel, could you do the camera for me while I do it? So we've got the milk nice and warm, and you can see that different bottle. That's a size C teat, I think. That's the best one for the bunnies, size C teat. And we're going to lend this to the rescuers. So we would sit this little bunny on a lovely mat, so we can see the mat there, a nice fluffy mat. And they like to put their little paws up as well, and they like to, as if they're feeling their mother when they're drinking. So we usually put a little pad there for them as well. And put the teat in the side of the mouth. See the little teeth? Well, you can see that in the side of the mouth there's a gap. You can go a little closer if it will stay focused. and he's got a little bit of milk there. We pull it back and he's going to mouth that in. So we just keep, he doesn't want to do this, but we have to encourage him.
Fast movements, they're just not really.
We're just going to rest the bottle there, and we're manipulating the bottle, holding his little face so that he can have his teat in his mouth. It's not hurting him, and he's just got to get used to this teat. That's the way. And he gets a tiny little bit. We made the hole a tiny bit bigger using a tiny pair of embroidery scissors.
Yes, sir.
So that's enough, and we'll keep that in the hot water. Give his mouth a little tiny wipe. There he is, and he can snuggle back into his fur and be safe and sound. He's going to have, we've estimated, approximately 40 mils per day. And we'll do that over a few feeds because he's only taking, we were able to get 10 mil, I think, didn't we? We got 10 mil in, so we'll have to do frequent feeds until he's able to take more at once. And he's going to sleep in this fur in a bag hanging on near the rescuer's bed so that he can hear their breathing of a night time. And of a day he'll be in a tank or a box that has a little tiny nest of this fur, and he'll have access to a little water dish and lucerne hay and some lucerne rabbit pellets so that he's growing and getting lots of calcium from the lucerne hay and the lucerne rabbit pellets. And when he's a little bit bigger, I recommend that he goes on to the Oxbow baby rabbit pellets. But a good one to start off with is the Vetafarm crumbly rabbit pellet, because his mouth is so tiny, and we're talking about an orphaned baby here. He's only 12 days old. So a tiny one needs the tiny crumble that Vetafarm produces, Vetafarm Rabbit Origins. And then when he's a bit bigger and his mouth can take the size of the pellet, we go to the Oxbow baby rabbit pellet. And both those pellets have lucerne in them so that he can get his calcium that he needs. And he'll also have some fresh grass served to him each day. And he'll have some parsley, just a little bit of parsley each day, and a little bit of kale as well. And he can have a tiny bit of grated carrot, and he should be pretty right. I hope you've been able to learn some things there about hand rearing an orphan rabbit.